Welcome to the 18% podcast. Did you know that in 2018 there was a study released which said that only 18% of people in the performing arts were working class? Ridiculous, isn't it? My name is Tom Mayhew and I'm a working class comedian, and I've set up this podcast where 100% of the guests will be working class. There'll be comedians, writers, musicians, actors, there'll be all sorts of people, anyone who does something creative, because these are voices and stories that you don't really hear. I feel like a lot of working class people, you're taught not to talk about it, or when you try and talk about it, people tell you to stop going on about it. So I thought it'd be nice to set up a podcast where people can hear stories from people like us.
Hi everyone, it's Olivia here. I'm the producer of the 18% podcast. I'm stepping in today just because Tom, at the time of recording, is not feeling very well at all. If you don't know Tom, he's a little bit like a sort of Dickens character, kind of Tiny Tim vibe. He gets ill quite a lot, especially in the winter. Imagine Tiny Tim from the Muppets Christmas Carol. That's Tom. Basically, I just wanted to introduce our guest for this week. This week is Bob Clarke, who is the CEO of the Mummy Youth Project. The Mummy Youth Project is an incredible organisation. They've spent the last 10 or so years training young people from underrepresented backgrounds to succeed in the media industry. I'm one of their alumni myself, and I would not be here talking to you without them, which is why we really wanted to have them on the podcast. Bob Clarke, as you will hear, is an incredible character. He has had an amazing journey across his whole life, putting everything he has into the Mummy Youth Project and making it work for so many hundreds of people. He's genuinely making a real difference across television right now, and please look out for him. He's an amazing man, but also very humble, so I'm sure he'll tell me off for saying that. Please settle in and enjoy episode 2. Thank you.
Let's talk about Mummy Youth. You started that in 2005.
Yes.
And that was after, this is like a really good quote from the Mummy Youth website that said you were told 20 years before then that there were not enough black people in the industry, and then 20 years later someone said the same thing. So I guess now, 13 years after that, do you still think that's the case?
Absolutely. And when I started it, when that was said to me, and I was quite down that day, thinking, what, in 20 years nothing has changed. And I thought, well, let me throw my little pebble into the water and do my bit to address that. This was in 2005. Well, I immediately included white working class in that as well, because just thinking about the bigger picture, and white working class underrepresented too. So, and it was quite strange in 2005, this black guy speaking at an event saying, yes, we help black ethnic minorities and white working class because I think they've been forgotten about in this country. I did get some really strange looks from the audience, people scratching their head.
Yeah, that just shows how they've been forgotten. If they don't get it, that's like...
Well, I think a mixture is people too scared to say. I'm sure there's people that didn't know what to say because I was black and saying it. If I'd been white and saying it, I don't know, any accusations coming along, is that a bit racist, or are you a white supremacist or whatever it may be, but they couldn't, so I saw some confused people not knowing what to say because they just couldn't understand. They didn't know what to say to me. And then there was others, of course, were pleased that I said it. But for me, it's not a big point of setting out on any kind of political agenda. It's just saying it like it is. If we're looking at underrepresented groups of people, then black people are very underrepresented, but so are white working class. Obviously, it's grown since then because we look at all underrepresented groups and disability. I'm pleased to say we have many people with disability with us as well. Well, what happened was, looking at the charity side, I could also see where white working class could actually feel a bit down, because there's a charity to help black people, there's a charity to help these people, there's a charity to help them. But where's the charity that helps us specifically? So it's that. And also, I found out as a charity, charities don't tend to help graduates either. And so I'm looking at this whole situation and thinking, I don't know about this. As far as graduates are concerned, I know so many people that have been the first to graduate in their family. So many people who graduated at university despite their home circumstances. And you're telling me that you're not going to help them?
Yeah, it's kind of like the implication is that if you're a graduate, then you must be fine. You must be one of those middle class people who's got that support, who everything is rosy for you just because you've got this piece of paper. Whereas I think the reality, like especially, shortly after you started in 2005, like we had the recession, and there was a point where I was signing on at the job centre in 2010, and there was graduates who were signing on.
Mm-hmm.
There was, they'd got a university degree at good unis, but they still couldn't get a job. They still had to sign on for 50 quid a week. So it's kind of strange that, I think especially when you're getting into the industry, if you've not got the experience, for a lot of people, it doesn't matter what bit of paper you've got or what university you went to, because they don't trust you because you've not got the experience. So I think things like Mama Youth, it's crucial, because what you it feels like what it was set up to do, you saw the industry, you thought, right, there's not enough of these people in the industry, so I'm going to set up a thing that will help these people get their first steps. Was that sort of the main motivation for you?
Yeah, it's yes. From my background of dropping out of education, joining the army, so I didn't get into trouble on the streets or the way things were going. Too serious, so I might ended up dead or in jail or something. So me and a friend joined the army, and
How old were you when you joined the army?
17 3/4.
That's very precise.
It's precise because until you're 18, you're on junior pay. And my mate was a bit older than me. He was 18, so he got more money than me. So I'm still bitter about it now.
Chase him up.
Yeah, I don't talk to him anymore. But
fair enough, mate.
I joined the army, and also coming from a generation of first black British born in this country en masse, being told to go home where we come from every day, and also going through a feeling of not belonging. I always remember there was a lot of black kids, maybe predominantly black kids in my school, and I always remember, because we're being told go home where you come from every day, and one of my friends, he was the militant. This ain't my country. I'm not English. I'm Jamaican. That's where I'm from. That's my home. So he was the first to get a chance to go home on a holiday with his family. And so I remember when it was due for him to coming back into school, we all gathered in the schoolyard. I think there's about 15 of us, all black boys. And he waiting for him. He came. We all sat down in a circle, crouched down, like to hear the stories of home. And he's shaking his head, looking down at the floor. And he looks up at us and says, "They're calling me their English cousin." And for a group of rowdy black boys, you could have heard a pin drop. We were all silent. We were all looking at each other, looking at him, looking at each other. Nobody knew what to say. And I think it was that moment there that we realized that we didn't have a home. And to go through a period of time when you don't belong, you've got no home, was really a strange time. So what kind of got us, and from my experience that got us out of that, was when the term Black British started being used more commonly. That gave me my identity. I'm black British. And so once I found my identity, the next person that told me go back where I come from, I told them, I'm here to stay, mate, and you better get used to it. So coming from that generation of, there's trouble with police now as far as black community is concerned, but there's an old law called SUS. That was a nickname for it. It preceded stop and search. The being beaten up by police was a common experience. So being part of a society that is quite openly saying it doesn't want you here, was teachers at school telling all of us we're not going to make anything of our lives.
Directly saying that to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, you got to remember, this is back in the 70s. You just imagine, one day I was told off in a French lesson, and the teacher said to me, right, go and stand over there in the corner, and I was leaning on the piano. Eventually she turned around and she saw me leaning on the piano. Now this is a classroom predominantly of black kids. She saw me leaning on the piano. She said, get away, stand up straight. You people are all the same, lazy.
Wow.
Now, the class, the other kids just looked up and carried on looking down again. I just came away from and just stood up straight. Because you're so used to hearing these kind of things that, now if that happened, it'd be on the BBC News. So these were different times, and going through that stage and becoming somebody who, when I left the army, the only job I looked for was warehouse. Because what else can I do? I can't do anything else. I can lift things and put them on a lorry. So I had no aspirations. I had no expectations of being anything at all.
I mean, you've done it right, considering that.
Well, I look for a warehouse, and the reason why I'm sitting here now is because I got a warehouse job in a video duplication company.
Really?
Yeah. And
so what were you doing in that job?
The old VHSs, for younger listeners of your podcasts, they can research what VHS is.
Yeah.
But it's a cassette format, they used to be in Blockbusters, shops like Blockbusters, so they were duplicated en masse. The films and stuff like that.
They might also have to Google Blockbuster as well.
Oh, Blockbuster, right, okay. That was a video shop. So I worked in the warehouse, and I was working in the warehouse for 3 months. Then the boss, the warehouse manager, sent me down to take this down to this area I've never been to before in this company. And I walked into this room. It was dark, with loads of monitors, flashing lights, little on and off, like fairy lights. These big reel-to-reel machines, which were 1-inch and 2-inch machines. And I thought, my God, this looks like Santa's grotto. And I love Christmas. I thought, wow, this is just like Santa's grotto. And the big boss of the company just happened to be passing. And so I said, can I work in here? I didn't even know what they did in there. I just thought it'd be like Christmas every day if I was in here. That's the only reason why I asked. I didn't even know what they did. And he laughed too, because I didn't have the qualifications to work in a place like that. But he said, I'll tell you what, we're going to be looking for a junior person working here. So come here in the morning, see how you get on, back to the warehouse in the afternoon. So that's what I did for, I can't remember how long, for a period of time. And, but while I was doing that, I'm learning more now about what they do in this department. And so all people kept on hearing me say was, let me get this right. So the guy that used to work in this here is now at the BBC, earning how much?
Absolutely.
And this one's at the morning breakfast TV. How much? Forget Father Christmas. I'm just seeing green now of the money. I mean, this is big.
Yeah.
And so when they said to me, you're doing all right, so if the warehouse manager will let you go, you can come and work in it. as a junior VT operator. The warehouse manager didn't want to let me go. He said no, because I was a good worker. I don't care what I would do, I would work hard. It took him, I can't remember how long, a few days or a couple of weeks, I can't remember. But when he finally decided, and this is actually relates to today as well, and my commitment to what we're doing at Mama Youth Project. So when he said, okay, you can go and work there. I lived 5 miles away from home at the time, and I normally got the bus, but the adrenaline, I ran. I ran like Forrest Gump. I ran and ran. I think I ran past my house because the adrenaline. But while I was running, it was like what you see on the TV. I was seeing the faces, hearing the all the negative words that have ever been said to me, all the negative things that have happened to me in my life to then. I'm not going to make anything of your life. And I was, as I was running, I was listening. I could vision and I could hear it all. And because I knew I was running into a new life. That run, I was running into a new life. And that's relevant to what we do today, because every single person who gets employment after being with us, I relive that moment. I know it's a new start. It's a new life. And I know what that means, you know? So that's one of the things that motivates me still to this day, because we're actually giving people new lives every year.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So how old were you when that opportunity came?
Oh God, I would have been. So let me see. I was born in 1958, so that was 19. I think I started in 1980. So whatever that is, 20 something.
22.
22, is it? Yeah.
22.
Yeah.
There we go. Good maths, everyone.
I didn't finish education, Carl. I'd never worked that out.
So did it feel like at 22 that was the first time you'd ever been given a break? Sort of like the first time someone had actually gone, here's a chance, here's a shot, here's something.
I think I was given a break from the moment my parents, my actual parents, gave me to the childminder at the age of 3 months. That's when I was given my break. And so, as far as I'm concerned, despite all the things I said to you, I was blessed. You know, I had a family that loved me. So my break was given way back then. And as far as recognition from outside, an outside person of the family unit, well, career-wise, yeah. But I've had breaks before then. I've had people try and help us. You know, I became a Chelsea apprentice. That was a break. You know, it's I've had good things. There's a saying, I can't quite remember. I think, you know, when we talk about luck and being lucky, and I've been lucky, but preparation is opportunity. When they meet, you just got to be prepared for these opportunities when they come along. And that preparation, in my case, was just being a hard worker, doing the best that I can. And if then something comes out of that, you know, I've been prepared for it.
Yeah.
So if the opportunity comes, then that's where it's come out okay. I hope so. I've never described it like that before. But.
No, that makes perfect sense. So until you fell into it, telly had never crossed your mind, ever? Until you
TV.
Santa's Grotto.
This is the other thing. You have to understand, because, you know, people talk about media. I don't think that kind of word existed, as far as I know, when I first started in television. But, you know, since then, we've gone media crazy. We've gone media crazy. We've gone celebrity crazy. You know, years ago, somebody who wants to be famous for doing music, for doing painting or art, wherever it may be. Now, there's so many people you meet, no, I just want to be on telly. Well, what's your talent? Just want to be on telly. I just want to be famous. So the whole situation has changed, and some people won't like me saying this, but in years ago in television, everyone respected each other for the jobs that they do. So those in front of the camera respected those behind the camera just as much as we behind the camera respected them. Now we've got people working in telly behind the camera who are in awe of the people in front of the camera, to do this whole celebrity thing. And it's all changed, and I'm sounding like a dinosaur, but British television was seen as the best in the world, and there was a reason for that. So yes, there's a lot of changes, and we have to move with the times. Here at Mama Youth Project, we teach all the researchers to self-shoot. But as an editor, when researchers first started self-shooting, it was a nightmare. Can we have camera operators, please? Proper camera people, but you have to change with the times. And then again, you have to do the best that you can. Coming out of a public broadcaster where, you work in a certain way, then coming into the market, as an editor, I've never heard anybody in the edit suite say that will do before. I was like, excuse me, that would do, but I haven't finished it yet. And so you've got to get your mind thinking in a different way. Well, okay, this is commercial. This is about money. They're paying a lot of money to be in this suite. And so if I want to keep the quality of my work up, I better work a lot faster.
Yeah.
And think a lot faster. So I can at least keep the quality, because they will settle for something much less quality-wise.
Yeah.
They
just want it finished.
And so, times change. And you've got to keep up with that change if you agree with it or not. But then you should always strive to do the best job that you can. And if you're used to better quality end product, then work out a way how you can still maintain that, even though your client isn't bothered.
Mm-hmm. I guess you have to balance your professional standards with their ridiculous deadlines.
Well, you've got to work in budgets, in current day budgets, and you've got to work that, but you still want to maintain the quality of the work. And I think especially in the technical field of television, in Britain, I would say that the majority of camera operators, sound, graphics, whoever it may be, are certainly working to maintain that quality as hard and as best as they can, understanding the restraints of production. And when I say the restraints of production, also understanding that it's been going for so long now, in a lot of cases, we have the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
And no matter what you say, they can't understand how it could be or how it used to be, and how you can make something a lot better and do it a lot better. So you have to accept that and do the best that you can, and to maintain the quality of British television.
All right, so at Mama Youth, it started, you had 16 young people who were from BAME or white to working class backgrounds, and they were sort of the first people you had, and you trained them up to produce a magazine TV show called What's Up London, which I believe you still do now.
Yeah, I mean, it's called What's Up TV now, and it's gone from DVD to a commission on Sky One. Now, when I thought of doing this magazine style show, the reason why I wanted to help young people, yes, get into TV, but also at the time in 2005, to me, a great thing was happening in the UK. That was the young people of the UK were finding their own identity. They were saying words that were related to UK guys, not Americans. In my time, we used to put on the American accent. It used to be, and singers were singing the American accent. And, for me, I wanted to impress a girl. I'd be talking American and be like, yeah, my name's Bob. I'm from New York, And they'd be like, no, you're not. It never worked or whenever I'd done it.
A lot of our female listeners at home would have been very excited just then, I'm sure.
All right. Okay, great. Thanks.
You'll be getting a lot of fan mail, Bob, now.
And, but what happened that I saw, Channel U had just started. There was, kids doing their music, singing, rapping in their British tongue. They're saying road instead of on the streets. It's on road. And stuff like that. And I thought, this is great. And it wasn't just black kids. It's white kids, Chinese, Asian. The youths found their own identity. And I thought that was great. I did my bit of research. And it wasn't just the music, guys. I saw we got so much talent for art, fashion designers that I'm not seeing on TV. Even on Channel 4, who should be keeping up to date.
Yeah.
I'm not even seeing them. And I just felt they deserve the broadcast treatment. Because we work differently in broadcasting when we're doing an interview than on, like you see on the YouTube at the time, different. And it's a respect that we give the talent in broadcasting. So I wanted to give them an experience of that respect.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking, kill two birds with one stone here. Give them that and get young people into TV. And so I could have then gone to commissioning editor in broadcasting and said, look, want to do this show. But I knew they would say, that show, it's got a lot of young people in it and a lot of people of colour. We call that niche. And I wasn't prepared to be hearing that. Because I would say to people who talk about things being niche, especially, and for me as a black guy, like if they call that show niche, every time you call that show niche, you're calling me niche. And as far as I'm concerned, I get on the same bus as you, I shop in the same supermarket as you, I'm in the same mainstream society as you. So unless you want me and all other niches to go to Niche Island where we can live happily ever after, and of course they would go red and stuff like that. Yeah. Because it's ridiculous. Because what is niche? I know, I'm sure you know, and I think most common people with common sense know, that mainstream society is made up of all niches.
Absolutely. That's kind of the point, isn't it?
I know. Now, I dropped out of education, but I can't tell you the amount of times that I'm so thankful I didn't get educated, because I'm looking at educated people and thinking, wow, what happened? It's crazy, because it's just common sense to me. But anyway, so I didn't take it to a commission editor. So just did it. I had to fund it myself. I did go, if I'm being honest, earn good money as an editor. My credit rating must have been sky high. Because the first time, it was, Mercedes rang me out of the blue and said, Bob, Mr. Clarke, it's Mercedes here. Would you like to take out all singing, new dancing Mercedes for a week to see what you think of it? I'm like, who is this? Right, is that you, John? No, Mr. Clarke, it's Mercedes. And sure enough, it was. So that means my credit rating must have been through the roof. I went from when I started Mama Youth Project and putting my own money into it. I went from that to the bank ringing and saying, Mr. Clarke, can we have your checkbook and your card? Because we want to destroy it.
Wow.
It went from there to there.
So you literally put everything into this?
I remortgaged my house twice.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that just because you just really believed in this and you just thought?
I had to think, because you hear of people chasing something, a dream, and everybody can see around them that, you're a bit loopy, mate. It's never going to happen. But what? So I had to think several times, am I one of those people chasing something that just everybody else can see isn't, going to happen? But what kept me going was, firstly, I was getting people into employment. So that was the first thing. The original 16, 14 of them got employment. Then the next thing was recognition. Oh, I've won a CDN award. That's going to bring in money. That's great. I've been recognized by the industry for what I'm doing. So, right, that's good. That's going to bring in money. It didn't. Mama Youth Project was recognized as a top 10 company in the television sector in Europe for showing a good initiative and practice towards diversity.
That's
top 10.
That's amazing.
The top 10 companies, they flew us out to Prague, Council of Europe, all these, so we all could sit there and make policy for the future. The only other two companies from the UK was the BBC and Channel 4. And Mama Youth Project. And Mama Youth Project. It was crazy. And even though we made the top 30, and we knew we made the top 30, but we didn't think we was going to make the top 10. The guy, when I was out in Prague, called me over and said, look, we know we said to you about you're in the top 30, that you won't make the top 10. He said, on the final decision, we just looked at what you're doing, and we just felt we got to have you in the top 10. And so that was really, really an achievement. So for me, that's going to bring in money. I can get the Mercedes again, bringing me up. No, it didn't. So from 2005 until finally, when I got my first proper support in 2013, I was working nights at Sky, doing sport and being at the charity in the day, surviving on average 4 hours sleep a night. I don't know how I did it.
Shit.
I can think back on that, and I don't even know how I did it, to be honest.
How long were the working days? Was it solid 20 hours?
Well, if it hadn't been my army experience, maybe I wouldn't be able to do it. So I would be starting. So how it would work out? I'll be at the charity because there'd be, doing things for the charity, meeting up, paying for the staff out of my own money, in the office, and so maybe the charity till 5, 6 p.m. go and work then to Sky. So maybe I might start at, depends. If it was, maybe I'll start at 9 p.m. So I'll try and grab, or 10 p.m. Try and grab some bit of sleep, have some sleep, work through the night, and then go straight to the charity again. Or sometimes I had to sleep the other end. I'll finish the night thing, sleep, and then go to the charity. But on average, it worked out about 4 hours a night. So I don't know how many years that is, 2005 to 2013. But what kept me going, it was interesting because one day when I didn't know where I was going to get money from to continue, because I've maxed out on all my cards, I've remortgaged the house twice. I remortgaged it once by then. I'm thinking, where am I going to get it from? Because again, and I had some friends round, and one of my friends said to me, because I'm thinking, I'm going to have to give this up. And she said to me, that's going to be a shame, isn't it? Like, at that time, it must have been about 180,000 I put in. I said, that's a shame because it means it was all for nothing. and I went, there's something wrong with that statement. There's something wrong with that statement. What is it? I need to find out what's wrong with it. Otherwise, I'm going to go up to the top of the roof and just jump off. What's wrong with that statement? And then I thought, wait a minute. If I've paid 180,000 and we've changed the lives of however many it was at that time, then that's not a waste of money, is it? That's true. Whew, thank God. I know it wasn't a waste of time. So I keep going and kept going in the hope that somebody will step in and help. During that time, I did develop blood pressure,
understandably so,
diabetes. So
would you say was that time more stressful than the army?
No. I always say you can't give me anything harder than you are in the army. Army is life and death. Television or setting up the charity isn't life and death.
So do you think it was the army that sort of helped give you that perspective and helped drive you on and sort of...
I think if I hadn't been in the army, I probably wouldn't have been able to have done the 4 hours. In the army, if you like, the mission I gave myself, the mission is start the charity, do this and get to this and do that and do this. And I'm not going to get any sleep while I'm doing that. Or little sleep while I'm doing that. I know that's the mission. And so I went ahead with that mission. That's what you do in the army. You're given a mission and you've got to go out and complete your mission. And if you know what the challenges may be, that it's going to be hard, physical, mental, you're prepared for that before you go into it. And so I guess it was like that. I knew I had to, so I knew, okay, I'm only going to get 4 hours sleep, and I've got to function the next day. I just got to do it. And
so, like I read on the website that apparently 428 people have completed the training since 2007, when it became a registered charity.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's 428 people's lives you've changed.
Yeah.
Who, it must feel amazing for you when you see their name on credits on things on the BBC, on ITV, on Channel 4, on everywhere. And that's because of you. Like I've read, you can read the alumni things on the Mum Youth website, which I implore people to do. And it's amazing because there's lots of people there who say things like, I was close to giving up. I wouldn't have been in telly if it wasn't for Mum Youth. And you've sort of given them that leg up. And that's fucking brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
You must be so proud of how far it's come.
Yeah, look, we're proud of every single one of them. We're very, very proud. And we've helped them get that start on the ladder. But we only take guys. We can only help guys. Because people say to me, oh, Bob, you're so nice. You're helping young people. I keep saying I'm not that nice, honestly. Please believe me, I am not that nice. I only help those who want to help themselves. I haven't got time for somebody who's not ready. There are other people, real good-hearted people, will deal with those and get them to that position. For me, are you ready? Are you ready to work? Are you ready to work hard for yourself? Yes? I'll go all the way with you. And so we do that. They spend now 14 weeks of trauma with us. They survive that trauma. A door opens at the end. But once that door opens, and we've opened that door for them in a relationship with our partners. Once that door opens and they step in, they do everything from then on. They're the ones who get their contracts extended. They're the ones who infuse somebody enough to say, look, I haven't got a job for you, but I know somebody who has. They're the ones, they do it for themselves. And so, yes, it's great when people thank us and say, oh, thank you, and then thank us again. It's like, please don't thank us anymore, because you've done that for yourself now. We didn't get that contract renewed for you. You done that. And we mean that. And that's all of us here at Mum Youth Project. People say, whatever, somebody starts a business or charity or whatever it may be that somebody started, people say, nobody can be as passionate about it as the person who started it. But I can tell you that everyone who works at Mum Youth Project, all the staff, are as passionate as me. And the reason being, because all of us see it. Because we are changing lives. All of us see it every day. Every time. So that, you can't help but get passionate about that. You get to know the guys that come here. We know their background stories. So we know how hard they have worked for themselves. We inspire the guys when they come to us because we work in the industry. So yes, they're inspired by us. But by the time they leave us, we are so inspired by them because we know their background stories, and you've worked despite this and that, and you've worked so hard for yourself. I can't tell you how inspiring that is.
Producer of the podcast. We can bring you in now. Olivia, hello.
Hi, hello.
You did Mama Youth in 2013.
Yes, yeah.
And you were saying how, there were some of the people you were working alongside, they were sort of, one of them had been in prison, there were single mums, there were people who'd already been through a lot of shit, frankly.
Absolutely, yeah.
So for them, I guess that's why it's incredible that they've fought through that, and they're like, yes, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to push that to one side and put the effort into something I want to do.
Yeah, there were people that I worked with who I didn't even know until, a few weeks in that what they'd come from, because you turn up at work every day and you do the job and you get it done and you're really good at it. And I remember just working with such brilliant, amazing people, and then you find out that they've had this or that happen in their lives, or they've also got a kid at home that they have to look after, or whatever, and it just made you sort of want to it was crazy. It was an amazing time, a really amazing time.
And you I think you've sort of said on the record that you'd always wanted to get into telly, and you just got loads of rejection letters until sort of you just saw Mama Youth on Twitter and got in touch, and the rest is kind of history. They sort of gave you the key and said you can open the door, and then
Yeah, I remember I found it on Twitter, and I at that time I'd sent out hundreds of emails to people. I was wanting to work in TV comedy since I was about 12, and I sent out so many emails after I graduated, and I heard nothing, or at the very most you get an email saying, I'm sorry, we're not looking for anyone, or we don't have room, or whatever. I found Mama Youth Project, and I didn't even know if I could apply, or if it was, I didn't really know what it was, but I went, I'm going to try anything here because I really want to do this. And I remember getting a phone call in the summer, and they said, do you want to come in for an interview in London? And I wasn't living in London at the time. And yeah, I remember coming in and being like, I still don't really know what this is. Even when I actually got a position, I was like, I'm so happy, but I still didn't know. It was a big gamble in my life because I had to move. I had to try and stay with people in London because I couldn't afford to live there. And at the time, Mama Youth members weren't getting paid, although they are now because they're getting more funding, which is brilliant, fantastic news. But yeah, we signed on every week, and they had a good relationship with the local job centre and things like that. But yeah, I got made homeless halfway through our series, and luckily there was an amazing woman called Chitsy who was on that series who said, come and stay with me in Brixton. I've just got a bed sit, we'll just share a bed for a week while you sort yourself out. And then so she really looked after me. And I remember I don't think I said anything to the guys at the time because I was like, this is my job. And that's really the what they instilled in me, was saying, this is work, and this is really important, and this is not and we'll fight to the end with you. But and I think when I did actually say something later, they were like, mate, you should have said you really should have said something. And I went, yeah, but this is my job, and that's how I wanted to treat it, and it did really pay off. And thanks to them, I met with Hat Trick Productions because they had a really good connection with them, and they recognised in me that I wanted to do comedy because that's all I banged on about ever. And I went to Hat Trick, and the rest is history. So I've always been very, very grateful to Mama Youth.
And do you want to have a quick chat with Bob about how it's changed since then? Because we sort of turned up today, it's quite obvious it's on a different scale to what it was 5 years ago. The people being trained to get paid now, whereas when you had a chat to some of them outside, and you were sort of like, oh yeah, Bob sort of said, oh, this is Olivia, she was on the thing 5 years ago, and you were like, oh yeah, we didn't get paid, and they were like, what, really? How did you survive? But yeah, they're just turning up today, and you were like, God, there's a big Mother Youth sign.
Yeah.
You were all really excited with a big sign outside. Do you want to just have a chat with Bob about how it's all changed?
Yeah, sure. So when I came in today, so the offices that are in Sky now, we were in a place called Defner House in Harlesden, and it was basically just like a windowless set of rooms. I mean, it was all set up and great and everything, but yeah, that was a completely different setup to what you've got now. You've got so many more resources, and it's really great for me as an alumni to see that it's growing for the people that are doing it now. But yeah, I was annoyed because you got people started getting paid after the series I left, so I felt a bit shortchanged actually.
Well, it actually, so when you did it, it was going on to Sky, Pick TV, Sky 3, and when it got promoted to Sky 1, we all looked at the whole situation, and of course Sky said, look, this is Sky 1 commission now. These guys now should be being paid for the production time when they're in production. And so, that was just great for that to happen, because that opened the door to many others who just couldn't, with all the goodwill in the world, afford to do it. Especially those, if you was a job centre and relationships with a job centre, we did it so that you could still draw your benefit during the period with us. But as somebody, unless you've saved up, and even for those who have saved up, you've got a certain limited amount of time, and so you're really hoping that it's all going to work out. And it's interesting to say about it being a risk, that you took a risk, and so many people took a risk at that time. And there's guys that came from outside of London who did exactly what Olivia did, would find somewhere, sleep on a sofa for the duration of the time with us. And
is it 12 weeks? Was that
I think it was 12 weeks when you did it, Olivia. It's now 14 weeks.
Oh.
And
That's
so...
a long time on a sofa.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And this is why I say, when guys inspire us, it was coming near the end of one, and I was, we was going on the shoot. And so we would have been, I don't know, 10 weeks in, and this trainee at the time, always smiling, happy. I'm just talking because I was driving the crew vehicle onto the shoot. And she said how she's been working in the coffee shop every weekend since being with us. So I said, wait a minute, what? You've been working hard with us during the week and then going and doing this job so you can have some money. I was just blown away. I was blown away. And when the industry talks about, we want people to show passion for working in this industry. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I sometimes have to really stop myself from speaking when I hear that. Because every single person that comes to Mama Youth Project, by the fact that they're living this trauma, is showing more than passion to get into this industry. And so, yeah, and of course with Olivia in the 5 years, reaching the stage of being a production manager, I don't know if you know, that's a massive achievement. And that's a real testament to your working ethics and how you are an asset. We want all our trainees to leave here being an immediate asset to a company. Then get that more experience. Then it's building up your experience as you go along. And so to get to that stage is fantastic. And
Thank
so
you.
we're very, very proud of you for that. I can tell you that.
Thank you,
honestly.
Bob. That means a lot coming from you.
The whole thing of the guys that come and Olivia's one of the alumni that's flying the flag for us, because that's the other thing. What's made Mama Youth Project successful? The alumni. The alumni are all opening doors for those to follow. And that's why we get phone calls most days from production companies. Oh, any of your guys, we're looking for a Mama Youth Project person, talent. It's because these guys are indoors. So we are very strict. We do not give everybody a placement at the end. And it gets even more important. When you're successful at doing something, you need to hold on to that. Now, if it was just me, fair enough. But it isn't just me. There's so more to follow, and so more to follow, and so more to follow. And so it's important that we send guys out into this world who are going to open doors for others, not close them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's really nice for me. I just wanted to say, when I go into a production company and you might get chatting to someone and say, like, how did you get started in telly or something, especially at the beginning? And people go, oh, I did this thing, it's called the Mama Youth Project. And you'd be like, oh my God, which season did you do? And it's like, and you hug each other because you know you've both been through the same trauma. And it's literally like, I've got a friend here. And then you meet so many more people. And it's really wonderful meeting other people from Mama Youth in the TV industry, because you do feel like a family, and you feel like you understand one another. And, you know, you share a lot of experiences, and you kind of talk to each other like, so which season did you do? And like, oh, where were you at that time? Were they getting paid at that time? Like, who was working there? Like, who's the, you know, and we always bond over you, Bob, because there's so much love.
Thank you. Thank you. But it is a family, though. That's what we build. It is building a family. Others may call it a school tie. The old school tie. Well, we're building our own school tie. And our school tie is more authentic, is more real, is more understanding, is more open to other people. So our school tie is different. And, this is just a secret between you and I. We're making sure that we've got Mama Youth Project alumni in all areas of television, so that one day when they announce me King of TV and Mama Youth Project take over the whole of the British television industry, and maybe that's when programs will really become representative of the society we live in.
Can't wait.
But that's just between us two.
That's all right. Okay, I won't tell anyone that. That's fine. I'm looking forward to that.
It sounds great.
Well, look, we're having to say, the crazy situation of me starting it from the statement that says not enough black people in the industry. I'm now having to tell people in companies, employers, did you know that not every white middle-class young person has a contact in TV?
Wow.
Did you know that white middle-class men are a diverse group as well? Because we've gone crazy. We've gone crazy. We've been upsetting this group of people for so long. All right, let's upset this lot instead. When there's a whole middle ground. And so the teams that we have are so mixed. From white middle class to ex-offenders to self-harmers, carers, this, that. We are a true reflection. In fact, we're living the TV dream. The television industry is talking about diversity, which is a word that just gets on everybody's nerves. They're talking about diversity so that we can be more representative in our programming. What's Up TV is the most diverse show on British television. Why? It's a reflection of the team that make it. So we're living that dream. And so we know that things could be a lot better. And our big mission at Mama Youth Project now, of course, getting young people and always getting people into employment, but we're on a much bigger mission than that now. And that is to actually make a real tangible change in our industry when it comes to inclusivity, not diversity. Maybe in the 13 years that Mama Youth Project has been going, that the diversity bar chart, so the diversity bar with its initiatives, its forums, its debates, its this and everything else for diversity is so high, you can be so impressed and go, wow, look at that bar. It's way up there. But the bar of impact is down here somewhere. So we're not interested in that bar. So we've said to all our partners, Sky, BBC, Animal Shine, Hatchet, Fremantle, all our partners, we only want to work with you if you're interested in making real change and real impact. Because diversity, maybe the reason why it hasn't changed in all these years that we've been going, is you're trying to fit something you can't fit. Diversity. There are diverse groups within diverse groups. If you employ that person in a wheelchair, there are tens of hundreds of people in wheelchairs that are different to that person. So it's being more inclusive, and then start thinking about where you're recruiting from. The way you're recruiting, if you want to be inclusive, to make sure you get these different mindsets, even though they might both be black, they're different people. Different both in the wheelchair, different people. And our partners, the great thing about our partners is they're willing to listen. We are quite unique as an organisation in that sense, because I'm blessed to be able to speak to the heads, chiefs of companies. So I have their ear, and that's great. We are doing commercial programming, so we're still production and having to keep up with what's happening in production. But as a charity, we're talking to grassroots. And, talking to grassroots builds our opinion and informs us as well. So what we've seen is at the top, the sincerity from executives in television is definitely a lot better. And there's so many more executives now that are truly sincere about making change. They want to reach this goal. Grassroots want to reach exactly the same place. But I can tell you, they're talking that way and the grassroots is in the opposite direction. But we're a bridge, and we can see how if we bring them together, that's when we're going to start seeing real impact. And I'm quite excited about that.
I'm very excited about the inevitable film about your life. Honestly, Bob Clarke the movie, that has to be a thing. Listen, we all, people tell me about writing a book, and I may do, and you should do, absolutely. Or somebody might do a bio, and it's going to be called Black and White in Colour. But we all have our stories. Everybody has a story. The thing we're blessed about at Mama Youth Project is that, Olivia, being one of our alumni, we know what happened today is going to last for generations. I look at my kids, and television's given me a great career. My kids haven't had the kind of life that I've seen. They haven't seen people with paraffin poured on them and set alight. They haven't seen people running down the road wanting to act somebody else. They've seen none of that, thank God. So my kids are alright. My grandchildren should be alright. And so on and so on. So we know what we do in changing a life today will last for generations through that person's bloodline. And that's when we realise how big the picture is.
He's good, isn't he?
He's fantastic.
What? I'm just speaking from the heart, that's all.
No,
You're
great.
brilliant. Oh, I love it so much. We've sort of talked about how far Mama Youth's come in just... Are you the type of person who would have like a 5-year plan for the next 5 years, or where you want Mama Youth to grow? Do you want it in Hollywood in 10 years? Like, what's the goal, I suppose?
Okay, I'll be real with you. So our reputation, and we've got a big reputation, but our financial situation doesn't match the reputation that we've got. Christina, who's our Director of Operations, and I are working very hard to make Mama Youth Project sustainable. And so, and this is where we're working hard with the industry, because with all the talk about wanting to make change, Our partners, especially our patron partners, which is Sky, BBC, Endemol Shine, Procam, certainly they're looking to make that change with us. We've got other partners that are helping in a low respect as far as helping financially, but we get so many companies who are giving us such great respect because they're saying, yes, we work with Mama Youth Project and support Mama Youth Project when they don't. So, it gives some kind of kudos to say, oh yeah, we're working with Mama Youth Project. So that's a respect to us, but they shouldn't be doing that. When we ask for financial support and the industry, and it's not very much we ask for support for, and oh no, we haven't got that kind of money. You haven't got that kind of money. Okay. Your top 10 production company, your turnover is this. You're telling us you want inclusivity. You're telling us we're the best at it. You're even pretending that you're supporting us and you don't want to give us that little bit of money. Are you joking?
Yeah.
And so we are working hard at trying to be sustainable. Because once what we do, the core of what we do, which is the What's Up TV show, which is the training and the tool we use to bring people into the industry, once that's financially stable, then we go to phase 2. Phase 2 is now the hard to reach, the disengaged young people of society that are actually causing so many problems in society because they're disengaged. We believe through media we can engage because our whole thing is real talk. Our whole thing, but it's real talk, understanding business as well. Oh, and of course the army discipline that comes with it too. We know, we just know that we can, but and that's much more clearly charitable. So we hope to get then funding by the third sector and looking at that, because the first sector don't understand us. If it wasn't for the TV industry, the supporters, our patrons in the TV industry, Mama Youth Project wouldn't exist. The third sector that deal with charities don't understand us, apart from John Lyons. John Lyons Trust is a great organisation, and they understand, and they've supported us through all these years. But the rest of the first sector haven't got a clue. They don't understand that when a young person who's been on the streets, been part of a gang, is coming out of that, and then they're with us, and I always love talking to somebody like that, because I meet them in the kitchen area. How are you doing? So what are your friends saying now? Oh yeah, they're saying like, you're at the BBC, you're at Sky, and you see that they see a way out. Mm. And that then if we think about all our trainees from the various issues in life are beacons. If I had a painting commission to do Mama Youth Project, it would be something to do with beacons going out, because each one of them is a beacon of light for those that have similar issues, come from similar backgrounds. And because they're a light, they are shining a light that, you know what, there is a way out. Your life can change. And so that's what our alumni are. They're beacons. And so to do this foundation, what we call it a foundation, for the disengaged, we know we can help them too.
And in this painting, will it just be like you in the middle with your crown and just...
No, I won't be there. It will just be the representation of Mama Youth Project, which is sending beacons of light out into the world for others.
I find it strange that some charities don't realise the very direct connection between people who they're in gangs because the gang gives them a sense of community and a sense of belonging. But you're offering an alternative sense of community and sense of belonging. So you're directly appealing to what they're in the gang for and giving them a safer alternative.
You're absolutely right.
It's not rocket science.
I think there's charities that understand that. I think what makes us different, because coming into this world, I didn't know about charities. I didn't realise how many good people there are in this society. I just didn't know. People have used their own money to do their charity and to help young people. I didn't know. But what makes us different, where we can create this family thing, is it's about employment. And they come in and I put a lot of my military experience training into what we do. Tough love. You know, a lot of times when somebody's actually having a go at you, it's more because they care.
Yeah,
they care what is happening. They care. They're having a go because they care.
And they believe you could do better than you're currently doing, I suppose.
Exactly.
They're trying to push you to be better. Exactly.
Somebody who didn't, right, oh, yeah, okay, you don't know, well, whatever. That's somebody who doesn't care.
Absolutely.
And so this tough love that we give is like, it is like parents, if you like, but they recognize the word is love is in there. It's tough, but the word is love in there. And that's what we're doing. And that's real love. That's not on the streets, we're family. Now go and down there and put your life at risk. That's not love. That's not family. So yeah, we are building a family, but I think other charities do, but we can do that because we don't just then leave it there. The whole point was, for me when I started, that it had to be a tangible outcome. And I don't know what more you can give somebody than the chance for them to sustain their own life. You do that by employment. Get employment, and you can pay for your own, become your own person. You can now pay for your own stuff, pay for this. Be proud that you got not a job, but you're on the ladder to a career, so that's what we're doing. There's so much. And the first sector don't really understand that. They don't understand that we're helping people who then do well, and in their communities where they come from, actually are then looking at them, they become role models. So we're creating role models as well, so for others. But the first sector just don't get us. You do a TV show, done. When we applied for Arts Council funding a long time ago, they would have given us funding if we did all these videos you see. Get a person who's had hardship, get them to make us tell their story, and how hard, it's terrible, I'm this, I'm that, it's been hard. They'll give us funding for that. The fact that we're asking for them to get the experience of what it's like to be in the workplace and get you ready for work. Oh no, we don't fund things like that. The whole thing is mad. It's mad. Not that, I could go into one. all I know is that we know the mountain is high. The mountain is high. But that's okay. I've given myself that mission to climb it.
Bob says things like that. I just feel like I want to go like, yes! but I don't know if I'm supposed to do that or not. But it's like being that. You're like the type of person politics needs. I think there should be more people who do that, who say things that make you feel something and feel like, yes, we can make change. So just finally, I guess to wrap up, where can people find out information about Mummy Youth?
Yeah, I think, go to the website, www.mummyyouthproject.org.uk, and that then takes you to our social media and tells you more about us. If you're feeling like you can help in any way, get in touch. Any way that you might think we can get help financially, great, and become part of that changing of lives. Because, I tell our partners, and I mean it, it's not just us changing that young person life, it's all of us. What we are as a partnership, we're a village. I know there's that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. That's us and our partners. We are that village helping to change the life of that person. And as I say, that then lasts for generations.
Well, that was pretty great. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did recording it. Bob and the rest of the Mummy Youth team, Mariana, Christina, everyone up there, has put so much into this. I can't recommend them enough. They are just the kind of people that give you hope in this world. Please give us a follow on Twitter. We're at the 18%, 18 the number, percent the word. Do give us a tweet. Our hashtag is we are the 18%. Mummy Youth is mummyyouth.org.uk if you want to check them out. They're also on Twitter as well at Mummy Youth. Let me just look what they are on Twitter. They're at Mama Youth, so M-A-M-A Youth. Brilliant. If you are under 25-ish and you've wanted to get into television, please apply. I cannot tell you how excellent it is, and my journey in television began with the Mummy Youth Project, so I really can't recommend them enough. Wonderful, wonderful people, but also be prepared to work your arse off. Please apply or follow them, get in touch with us, give us a review on iTunes, tweet us, let us know what you think of the podcast so far. You know, it's very early days at the moment, so we'd love to hear what you think about it, and why you tuned in the first place. I hope you keep listening with us over the weeks. We've got some great guests coming up. Yeah, see you next week.
Thanks very much for listening. We are the 18%, and we'll see you again next week. This was the 18% podcast. It was hosted by Tom Mayhew and produced by Olivia Phipps. All music was provided by Swinging for Mars.
Yeah.